and Kiana are back again, and today we're talking about finding your identity while healing. Last time we talked about finding your purpose, so let's get right on into it. Kiana, as you get more aware, how has the way that you see yourself changed?
So, the way I used to see myself was basically I just didn't have really any self-worth, and I didn't think I was anything special, or I didn't think that I was worthy of love or anything like that. But now the way that I see myself is that I'm multifaceted, that I have phases that I go through, and that sometimes I can go back a phase, forward a phase. It's all a part of healing. Like, I believe that there's like three phases of life, like uh beginning, middle, end, I guess, or like maybe like if I could bring it into kind of idea to make sense of it, would be like the triple goddess, mother, maiden, and crone. Maiden, mother, and then crone. So it's like you go through the baby parts, you go through the middle parts, and you go through the end parts. And if you need to go backwards a phase, it's fine. But right now I believe that I'm blooming, I'm blossoming, and I'm like in the middle phase. And it's just beautiful how I've seen myself go from infant to kind of like maybe a little bit more mature in my healing and how I view myself. It's taken a really long time for me to value myself as well. But I've finally stepped into believing that I'm worthy.
For me, I would say that I am, while I'm more aware and the way that I reflect on myself is that I see that I don't always have to perform all the time. And that is one of the problems that, I had. I see I'm also more confident in my heal while I'm healing because I don't always feel like everything needs to be perfect. And I feel like I'm enough. I always had the feeling of not being enough while before I started my healing journey. So that was one of my things. Um, I would say, who were you during the season when you were doing what you had to do?
In the Who was I in the season when I was doing what I had to do? So,
Hmm.
uh, when I was doing what I had to do, I was for basically just forcing myself forward. And I guess I was making myself become a version of myself that was a that was going to accept me, accepting myself for who I am. I was forcing myself to do that. I didn't really know my worth really until people started to show me, and I know I'm supposed to find it myself. And yeah, I did. I found it for myself. But in
Yeah,
my
that's great. That's what I was gonna say when you said that. Sometimes, source puts people in our lives to make us realize things that we don't realize on our own, and they're helpful for us. And I didn't mean to cut you off, so continue. So you got
It's all
it.
right. I was just gonna say that in my own personal journey, I feel like not only my partner, but other people, women around me, you have helped me see how special that I truly am, and that how special we all are, and how our purpose is. Everyone has a purpose and um a journey of healing that is special.
For me, I was always in grind mode. I always feel like I have to be doing something. I couldn't just sit still. Like there's something I couldn't do. I overextended, overgave, and I did all these things because I felt like I had to do that because as we spoke of earlier, not feeling enough, we feel like when only when we're performing, when we're doing something, when we are unquote adding value, that's all that makes us valuable, and that's not true. We're are enough just for being. I would like to say when you finally had space to slow down, what um was unfamiliar about yourself?
So I just randomly thought of something, but it was like I had no idea that I actually exuded confidence in myself. Actually had like because of the practices I'd been doing, I had no idea that I thought that I was a powerful person. I thought that I was, confident in myself because I was in rehab and this girl after rehab, after everything that I had gone through with her, she had told me, she's like, you intimidated me in there. And I'm like, really? How? And she's like, because you were okay with being yourself. You were okay with being who you are. And I'm like, wow, I guess I just was, just like we were just saying. Like, I guess I was just being. So that's just interesting. That's an
I've
interesting.
had I've had the same thing happen to me. That's so weird. Like the store that I go to all the time. One day the girl just said, and this is when I was at a lower point. She was like, "You are just so confident." She was like, "It's nothing you say or anything. It's just your presence. As soon as you walk in here, like you come in the room." And that's something that I really had thought about a lot, but that's when I first started in my healing journey. And as you get more comfortable in your own skin, that confidence does come out. I would like to say for me, the thing that I realized was when I had time to slow down was how absolutely exhausted I was.
Oh yeah.
I I didn't realize that because when you're always on the move, you don't have time to be tired. I didn't have time to be tired. I didn't have time to process anything. It's just that I have to make things happen. I can't be still, and I push myself harder than I needed to, but I didn't realize how much I was doing that until everything slowed down and I actually had time to sit with my stuff. Um, what parts of you do you realize were more coping mechanisms than really part of who you really are?
I would say always bending over backwards for someone who didn't give me like the same. I would always think that because I was doing something for somebody else that it was always helping me, but it's not always helping me to help other people, especially when I'm overextending myself. I'm not sleeping well because I'm helping other people. That was just a thing in a rut that I was stuck in for a long time.
So I don't like this. This is really blowing my mind. I'm sorry. I'm kind of like all over the place with this today because it's kind of like we went through the same thing. It was different circumstances, but it still was the same feeling, and we're coming out of it. One of the things that I realized was I overextended myself a lot and I didn't use boundaries at all because I was scared that I would disappoint the people that were close to me. I wasn't doing things because I care. Yes, I care for these people. Yes, I love these people. But I wasn't doing it for those reasons. I was doing it because I didn't want them to be disappointed in me. And that's something totally different. And I realized that a lot of things that I like doing, I really didn't like doing. I only did them because I didn't have to think about other stuff and it numbed things. And it was like what other people wanted me to do.
Yeah,
So,
I didn't want anyone to hate me. Um,
right,
which now I don't care if they hate me. But
right.
the thing is
Right.
I did someone's college for them. I helped them with college coursework and I said I would do it, which I should have never have done that. And when they
No.
didn't graduate, when they weren't able to finish it and follow through, guess who was to blame for it? Me. I was because I promised to do something that I couldn't follow through on because my own, crap was going down the drain in my mental health. And just long story short, that relationship I ended up in the psych ward because of it. So not a
And
good
some Yeah, but sometimes, yeah, and that's the thing about overstanding yourself and not saying no. Like,
Yeah.
That's following the next thing I was gonna ask you, which ways, how are people reacting to this new version of you?
Um, uh, a lot of people like it. A lot of people that my tribe, they're really proud of me that I've come into this new version of myself. And but other people, I feel like I don't know why, but I feel like they think I'm fake. Doesn't matter to me, but I think that's how the toxic is reacting to me. But
Healing triggers people that are not healed. So
yeah,
when you are just, you don't care anymore. It's not that you don't care about people. It's just that how they feel doesn't affect you anymore. It's like, okay, that is a you problem, not a me problem. People don't know how to handle that and they can't stand it. So yes, they will say you're fake. Like, how can you be so unbothered all the time? That's not possible. But when you awaken from the sleep that you're in, because that's how it feels, being unhealed versus going starting to go through healing, you wake up from a lot of things that you weren't paying attention to because you're not constantly numbing yourself. So you're actually processing and thinking, and you're like, wait a minute, I'm doing this, this, and this, but I'm not getting anything out of this. This is not pushing me where I need to go or a part of being the best version of me. And this person isn't pouring back into me. It's draining me. Why do I keep doing this?
yeah,
So you put up boundaries with them, and when most of the time when you put up boundaries, one or two things are going to happen. Either they're going to respect you, or they're going to get mad and leave you alone. And people that are only dealing with you to get access to you and things from you will leave you alone. The people that truly love you will respect your boundaries and your journey. If they're not respecting that, then it's because they can't use you anymore and you need to distance yourself because that's what I did. I've distanced myself from a lot of people. Some people I don't talk to at all anymore. You can deal with people, but not be around them all the time. It's okay that if they're not where you are, you don't have to shrink yourself to make them feel better. If they can't accept who you are now, then that's a them problem, as we just said.
yeah. I totally
Um,
agree with that.
So I will say that I got a lot of you're different when I started changing because it's such a drastic change from how I used to be.
Hmm.
Because um saying no is not wasn't easy for me. But now I have no problem saying I don't feel like doing it today. This is a low vibrational conversation. I don't want to talk about it anymore or what have you. I'm not saying that, I'm perfect or anything because perfection doesn't exist, but I know what I want in my space and I know what I want to deal with. And if I don't want to deal with it, I have no problem telling the person I don't want to deal with it. And I think being unhealed, um, I'm not gonna say I'm healed now. I'm still going through the process, but when I wasn't paying attention to it at all, it was hard for me to speak up for myself in certain situations, as we said earlier, because we didn't want people to be disappointed. When you start healing, you realize that what other people feel isn't on you. I'm not saying don't pay attention to their feelings or things like that. Like you don't have to be an asshole or anything, but you have to not let them affect your choices. Your
Right.
choices have to be about what's best for you.
Yeah, you don't have to be mean about it. I mean, maybe sometimes at certain situations, it's okay to remove the emotions, but that doesn't mean you have to be mean about it. It's just like my boundaries, and I'm not being mean. They'll think it's mean. They'll really will think it's mean, but
Because it's such a big change and they're used to you shrinking yourself, so
yeah,
when you're not shrinking yourself anymore, they don't know how to handle it and they will say you're mean. They will tell you you're all kinds of things because it's not benefiting them anymore. But that's the thing about when you're healing, you know who you are for the most part, so what other people say just rolls off your back and you're just like, oh, whatever.
yeah. When you're healed, well, when you're unhealed. you really don't, I feel like you don't have a voice or you're not using your voice. And yeah, and you're not sticking up for yourself. So it's hard. It's hard
Yeah,
to,
it's
yeah,
either one or two extremes. It's either like we feel what other people go through more. So I think that that's part of the reason why we don't we didn't want to say no and things like that to them, because we already knew they were going through things. But while you're healing, you realize everybody's going through things, and you can't just save everybody. You can't do it. And so we pick who we're selective about certain things, and we realize it's okay to tell them no, we can't do it sometimes. Like that's
yeah.
something that I feel healing really helps. Um so I would like to, I don't know why I keep saying I would like to, just ignore me for saying that. But what part of yourself was the hardest to let go in your healing process?
uh, I feel that to let go of, I guess, my inner child popped up in my head. Like I'm not saying that I don't have my inner child integrated in me because I tried to do that, but like I feel like I missed a version of myself that was innocent and just, I guess, I it's kind of weird, but I miss like the innocence of how I was before all of it happened. But
I understand what you're saying completely. Like,
yeah,
basically we were naive a little bit. I'm just gonna be honest. We were naive. It was like we had blinders on and we weren't seeing the whole picture. We it was that innocence where you see good in everybody, and you just don't think that we know that bad people exist, but being, oh, well, this is different. They're not bad. They just went through this. They're not using me.
yeah,
They need help. But when you go through the healing process, your discernment really amps up, and you're like, wait a minute, this is not right. And you can't go backwards once you do. And it's hard and it hurts. It hurts. Like, it's so freaking hurtful how you realize that people you thought were your friends, you thought you were cool or whatever, you realize these people have been using the hell out of you. And you're like, oh my God, I've been so blind.
yeah.
And you
Even
try
some of
to,
the people we've dealt with personally, just
oh my God, yes, because I still will never forget my situation.
yeah,
Like, don't come to me asking me for help and things like that where you really don't need it or want it. You're just trying to pick my brain so you can use it for your purposes. And then when it doesn't go the way you want it to, then you want to try to say that I'm something I'm not to make yourself feel better. And that doesn't work. And when you do that to people that are chosen, then everything around you is going to start to crumble. And it's funny you brought that up, because I didn't know that I was still had this person on my social media, because I blocked them on everything, I thought. But you can't block people on YouTube for some reason. And I didn't know that.
oh crap.
So I didn't know that you can't block them. I tried to block them, I couldn't. So I saw their page. And they haven't moved since I stopped dealing with them. And this has been months ago. So you don't have to do anything to people.
Mhm.
You don't have to touch them. You don't have to waste your energy on them. Karma will come and touch them in ways worse than you ever could. And no, I'm not reveling in the joy that this person is going through what they're going through. Well, these people, I'm not even, it's more than one person, it's two people. I'm not reveling in that because I'm not that kind of person. But I will say that I hope that what they're going through will help them to not try to do what they did to me again. I will say that.
Yeah. I wish
So
them well.
yeah, no hard feelings or whatever, life goes on. But it was a teaching experience and it's something that I had to go through at the time so I could learn how to navigate on this social media platform, I guess.
Yeah.
Because, sometimes when you interact with people every day, you think things are deeper than they really are and they're not. That was a humongous lesson for me. And I will definitely take that into consideration from any point on.
Yes.
But getting back to what we were talking about, the hardest part for me as I get further in my healing is as not helping people all the time. That it has been such a big part of my personality for a long time because from an early age I have been made to feel that I have to give in order to be loved because if I didn't do certain things, then my mother would stop talking to me. And that's something, I could tell you. Like she would ask me something, she want me to do something, she want me to do stuff, and I wouldn't do it. When I wouldn't do it, she would stop talking to me.
Mhm.
So that's how I was that's kind of how the performance started. Like I always did things because I wanted the people that I cared about to care about me too, and I felt like if I didn't, they wouldn't. So letting go of that person has been hard for me, and I'm still navigating that because I'm in the middle part of healing. Like I'm not fully who I'm growing into, but the old me doesn't serve me anymore, and I'm not going backwards. But sometimes when things get tough, the old habits for soothing myself come into play. So that's where I'm at now, trying to not do these things because I know that I'm not doing them for the right reasons. I'm not doing them just because I'm enjoying them. I'm doing it because I don't want the process what's going on because it's hard. So that's the hardest part for me right now. Um, who do you feel like you are becoming in this season?
In this season, I feel like I'm becoming and blossoming into the person who I always am meant or was meant to be. Just the best version of myself and the person who takes control and um, stops the curses coming through my family line and steps into the purpose. I step into my purpose. I do what I'm told by my soul, and I'm happy with that right now. So,
I pretty much feel the same. I feel like I'm learning to trust myself more. And one thing that I'm learning to do is just be. And that's hard because I'm so used to always having to do something. Now I know I don't always have to do something. If I want to rest, it's okay. I don't have to earn rest. I don't have to get a new degree or anything like that. I don't have to do those things. I can just rest and think about where I need to be next. I can focus on just myself and it's okay. It's not wrong to be selfish. Like we're taught that being selfish is wrong. It's not. Sometimes you have to just think about yourself and
yeah.
how you feel and what's best for you. You can't always make your choices based on someone else. So I've learned to be by myself a lot more because there was a time that I didn't like being by myself. I love being by myself. Like being by, being by myself is like the best thing ever because I don't have to worry about how anybody else feels, what anybody else wants, what it's just what I want to do in that moment. So I feel like I'm in my becoming stage, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
I've always been her, but now I'm becoming her. And the way that I interact and do things on a daily basis is not just an idea anymore. And it's kind of uncomfortable because I've never been this before. I have never sat with myself so much and just focused on just me and what I want, not being the best friend, being the best mom, being the best content creator,
Yeah.
and it's just, it feels freeing. It does. And to a point that I can be happy and not be paranoid about it. You know how like you are happy, but you're like, let me not get too happy because I know something's gonna happen
Yeah.
and you can't enjoy it. Like I'm not like that anymore. Like it's a beautiful thing, and I'm glad to be in this space to be able to have just pure joy. And I'm learning what makes me happy, like what feeds my soul, not what I have to do to get through the day or to feel love because I'm giving myself that love, or to feel like enough because I already know that I'm enough just by being on this planet and existing and being who I am. Like that's the space that I'm in right now. Um, what would you want to leave with someone that is healing and they're finding it uncomfortable because the old version is gone and they're trying to figure out who they are now?
So I would leave with anyone going through that life-changing healing where you kind of feel, I mean, honestly, I felt like I was dying because of this, like not physically. I don't know how to really explain it, but I would leave someone with the uh
I want to say, when you say you're dying, a part of you did die. The version of you that you had to be to just survive is gone. She
yeah.
doesn't she doesn't exist no more. She did her job. She got you to where you are now. So that's a good thing. It's just a uncomfortable feeling because you've been this person for so long. So I just would like to interject that to help you out with how that feeling. But continue on.
That made me really emotional. I almost started crying because, like, wow, she got me to this point. Bye. No. But really, what I'd leave with anyone going through this right now is that the feeling of uncomfortableness isn't going to last forever. You're going to find who you truly are, um, and you're going to be happy with it, especially if you're on the journey of healing and coming into the higher version of yourself. The higher version of yourself is waiting for you to come to this certain point and welcoming with open arms. And that's what I'd leave.
I would say that I feel the same thing. Like, you don't have to have it all figured out. That's what I really want to leave you with. Don't feel like you have to have it figured out all today. That's not what healing is. It's a continuous journey to be the best version of yourself, whatever that looks like for you. So do not fret that you don't know and you feel uncomfortable. If you feel uncomfortable, that means you're doing it right. You're supposed to feel uncomfortable because growth is very uncomfortable because it's something you never experienced. I would say give yourself grace and just keep going. Don't stop and don't go backwards because it's uncomfortable. Don't do that. And if you do try to go backwards, I'm going to tell you right now, because I've done it, you're going to be miserable because those things don't fit you anymore. And it's not going to work. So don't do it. Don't even try. I'll try to help you not go through a whole nother process you don't have to go through. Just stay on the path you're on. Take it one day at a time. If you do backslide, don't feel bad about it. That doesn't undo everything you did. You can still keep going forward. And I hope you guys have a blessed rest of your day.
All right. You guys have a good day.